likes of John Westgarth and Chris Jacobs, and tonight he's in against Sweden's Denroy Bryan, who last time he gave James Oyebola a tough fight.
Introducing in the red corner with the black and white shorts from Sweden, Denroy Bryan. And his opponent in the blue corner with the black shorts from Potter's Bar, Jess. And at the weigh-in at 1 o'clock today, both boxers scaled at 15 stone 7 pounds. Your referee for the contest is Larry O'Connell and your timekeeper Bob Edgeworth.
This is a heavyweight clash. On the left, wearing the plain black trunks, is Jess Harding from Potter's Bar, the local favourite. And from Swindon, wearing the stripe down his trunks, Denroy Bryan. Both of them scaling precisely 15 and a half stone. Two big men. Harding starts the favourite. He's the one on the right. 26-year-old southpaw from Potter's Bar. Jess Harding, or to give him his correct name, Jeremy Harding, with 8 wins out of 12 professional fights. And shortly, we're told, lined up in a British heavyweight eliminator with Gary Mason, the Frank Bruno stablemate. So Harding not only wants to win this tonight, but he wants to come through unscathed. This is due to fight Mason, I believe, at the end of November. Well, Bryan will be 29 next month. Only 4 wins in 16 pro fights. Confirmed loser, I'm afraid. Hasn't had a win in his last 8 fights. And Harding very much a man on the up and up. He's won his last 5 on a good winning streak. He's had a little bit of a bruised knuckle, Harding. Hopefully that won't affect his punching power tonight. Although Denroy Bryan is probably hoping it will. Harding had a win recently over John Westgarth from Newcastle, former challenger for the European Heavyweight Championship, and he forced Westgarth to retire after 5 rounds in June this year at nearby Basildon. Harding taking his time. Harding has plenty of support in this arena. Harding has about 2 to 2.5 inches advantage in height. He's 6'2". And that was a very restrained opening round by Harding. Jess Harding, 26 years old, 8 wins, 5 of them have come inside the distance, and 5 of them have come in a row recently. 1 draw and 3 defeats. And that win over John Westgarth was achieved early on with some good left jabbing, which set the man up for 2 knockdowns in the 5th round, and the corner retired him at the end of the 5th. So a good win by Harding, that. And a month earlier, he hadn't looked quite as good with an 8-round points win at Bethnal Green over the Welsh champion, Chris Jacobs. Freddie King in the corner there with him with the glasses. ex-fighter. And from
Second
the right,
out, round 2.
from the right, Denroy Bryan from Swindon comes up. Bryan with the stripe down his trunks. Earlier this year, Bryan was outpointed for the Midlands area title by Al Malcolm, a man who's had a draw with Harding. Harding on the right. Well, I can understand Harding being cautious. He's got this fight coming up with Mason, and he doesn't want to take any chances, but he's getting picked up occasionally with the right hand, and he's going to have to move into a slightly higher gear, I think, against Denroy Bryan. He's an overwhelming favourite here. Bryan has been in with men like Gary Mason, who knocked him out in 1:20, 1 minute 20. He's been in with James Oyabola, the giant, former ABA champion. Oyabola stopped Bryan in 6 rounds earlier this year. But Bryan had Oyabola down during that fight, so Harding is right not to take too many chances. Round 2. Harding getting his southpaw right lead to work. Just wondering whether Harding might be considering using this as a bit of a warm-up and a workout for the forthcoming fight with Mason. Seems to be in no hurry. Bryan lumbering forward, weaving away. That's a good punch. He set him up with the left. Up at 8. So now can Harding finish it? No, he can't. There's the bell, and Larry O'Connell has to come between them. And the pair of them apologise to each other. So, all the excitement came at the end of the second round, with this man, Bryan, being stunned by left hand, and then when Harding followed up, he was over. But it was the left hand that set him up. We'll see it again here. Watch the Harding left. Here it comes. That was the one that stunned him. And then he followed up, and he was easy prey after that. In fact, he didn't hit him with that punch. He went over from the previous left. So, can Bryan recover from that now as we come up to round 3?
Seconds out, round 3.
Well, Harding's got his chance here because I don't think Bryan is fully recovered. Harding from Potter's Bar against his black fighter from Swindon, Denroy Bryan. A desperation effort by Denroy Bryan, and Harding doesn't want to get suckered into it. there's blood coming down the face of Bryan now. He's cut over the left eye. So he's got a lot of problems now. And it's only the third round. And from the look of that injury, I don't think it's going to go too far. Still trying to slug his way out of this, knowing that defeat is almost upon him. Larry O'Connell's going to have a look at this cut. He wants the blood wiped away. I think it's a fairly deep cut, and it's over the eye. It's in a bad place. Brendan Ingle trying to staunch the flow of blood. And Larry O'Connell is satisfied he can go on. Round 3. And Denroy Bryan now, desperate to try to throw 1 or 2 lucky punches now to turn this around. The face of Harding smothered with the blood of Bryan. If Harding just steadied himself up a bit and picked his punches instead of slinging anywhere, he might bring this very quickly to an end. O'Brien, having been on the floor and now being badly cut, is at his most dangerous. Bell should be coming up. And Bryan takes a couple of very deep breaths as he goes back to the corner for further attention to the cut above the left eye. Denroy Bryan, coming up to 29 years old, only 4 wins in 16 pro fights. Been stopped 6 times in 11 defeats. And once again, it looks like another defeat tonight, unless he can pull one out of the bag. There's a lot of grease on that eye. Unless that melts into the skin before he comes out, Larry O'Connell might ask for that to be wiped away. The face of a sad fighter. So Bryan has survived a very rough third round, and Jess Harding still has it all to do. And Bryan is turning this into a much harder battle than anybody imagined it would be. One or two of Harding's supporters around the ringside are beginning to get a little bit anxious about this. They wish he could get it over. The cut is bleeding again, and Larry O'Connell is sending him back to the corner. And O'Connell says, I don't want to see any more. And I think Denroy Bryan may have brought that on himself there with that little bit of clowning. And O'Connell, I think, didn't want any of that. So he made the cut the reason for stopping it, because Bryan, although he was looking in a bad way, was beginning to clown. So Harding, in the 4th round, is the winner and comes through, as far as I know, unscathed. May have a bruised knuckle. Bryan comes over to say, okay, all is forgiven. And that's another defeat for Denroy Bryan. And the 9th win in 13 fights for Jess Harding at bottom of the bar. So that's 6 wins in a row for Harding, the young heavyweight who is going places.
After a fight with Mark Reefer, who made a successful debut in the Southern Super Featherweight division. Mark, could you give us your thoughts on this evening's top of the bill?
Well, as I say, John Chanel, I don't really know a lot about. Jess, very, very good. And he's been training very, very hard in the gym. Very, very hard. So let's see what's happening, and I'll give you a rundown.
Great, thanks very much, Mark, and I'll get back to you at the end of this round. A lot on the line this evening for Jess Harding. He looks likely to take on the winner of the Mason Curry fight for their British heavyweight title. So first of all, he has to overcome the French champion Jean Chanet this evening. And he's already found the target with a right and a left. Jess Harding, southpaw, trying to get the jab, get to work behind his jab. At the weigh-in this afternoon, Jean Chanet came in at 15 stone and a pound, and Jess Harding at 15 stone 10 pounds. So Harding with a 9-pound weight advantage. And it is already he who looks to be dictating the fight, taking it to the Frenchman, backing up Chanet, but Chanet trying to fight his way out of trouble off the ropes. Harding already fought 2 or 3 of the better heavyweights in Britain. Derek Williams, the new Commonwealth champion amongst them, who he lost a controversial points decision to at Bethnal Green. And in his last fight towards the end of last season, he beat the Geordie John Westgarth. And Westgarth, of course, had fought for the European title. So Jess Harding been in with 1 or 2 useful heavyweights in Britain. The Frenchman there with a very good straight left. There's the Frenchman in a bit of trouble in his own corner. Harding a fine boxer, but he also out-punches the punches as well. If it comes down to true fight, it's exactly what he had to do against Westgarth. Fine opening round for Jess Harding. He might have been caught once or twice, but he did seem to get the best of the exchanges. Maybe you could give us your thoughts on the opening round, Mark.
Throwing some good jabs, but being very, very careless. Got caught about 3 times with a straight right from Chanet. Chanet himself then got caught with a lovely left hand from Jess. But he's being very, very careless, Jess. And especially against Chanet. Chanet seems to be swinging a lot of shots, and he's having quite a bit of success, actually.
Obviously, you mustn't underestimate Chanet. I mean, he is the French heavyweight champion. He's also been in against one of our other fighters, Chris Jacobs, the Welsh champion. He beat him as well.
That's right. You see, no fight is easy until it's finished. But Jess has been very, very careless. This is not the Jess I know. He's got his hands down, his chin slightly up in the air. He got caught 2 or 3 times, momentarily stunned, I think. And at the end of the round, he didn't look actually too pleased.
So we'll be hoping he can tighten things up a little bit in the second round. Thanks very much, Mark. So all the fans of Jess Harding in this crowd here this evening, hoping that he can tighten things up a little bit, get to work behind the jab. But immediately the Frenchman throws that big right, catching Harding on the side of the head, then a one wildly going over the top. As he switches down to the body. A good left from Harding. Hardy stumbling to the ground, the referee asking him to box on. Frenchman continues to throw that big roundhouse right. A lot of them landing on the gloves of Harding, but he's being caught once or twice, as Mark suggested at the end of the first. A good exchange above Harding's corner. A very good left catching the Frenchman Chenet right on the chin. He hangs on, preventing Harding from pushing home the advantage. As the Englishman continues to take the fight to Chenet. Tries to find a way through there with the left uppercut. And he catches him with another very good left. The Frenchman in a lot of trouble in his own corner. Harding getting through some very good work here in the second round. His fans urging him to get behind that jab. He's already set up the left a couple of times. But although Jess Harding is having the better of the exchanges here in the second round, as Mark briefly said, he's got to maintain his concentration and make sure he doesn't get caught by the Frenchman's big right, which he continues to throw, just hoping to land it on the chin of Harding. Very good body shot from Chenet, but Harding stands his ground, takes the fight immediately back to the Frenchman. So a much better round for Jess Harding, the second round, Mark.
A very, very good round, but he's still getting caught, Jess. He's still got this idea. All he wants to do is knock this Chenet out with one punch. In the beginning of the round, Jess caught him with a lovely, I think it was a straight left. Beautiful punch, it shook Chenet. It looked as though he wanted to go home, and all of a sudden, bang, the guy come back with his own, and then Jess like backed up, but then Jess has been backing him up. Jess has been the aggressor.
I think we can actually take a look at some slow motion action from the second round there. One or two of the good shots that Harding landed. Just tell us what you think of these, Mark.
They're very, 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 very. As you can see, it was a beautiful left hook from him. But still, you can see Chenet, very, very wild man. And I mean, people are wild. All he's doing is swinging. He caught Jess apparently with 3 shots, but Jess has still got the upper hand, still pushing him back, still dominating the fight.
There's no doubt the Frenchman can take a shot, though. He's already taken a few.
Jess too. Jess has taken a few too, but he's doing very well, very well. He should just keep his head down.
Thanks very much, Mark. So, in the third round, really just about anything can happen here at the moment. Harding landing some very good shots, but the Frenchman also throwing that wild right, and that's finding the target on 1 or 2 occasions as well. And this record of the Frenchman, Chenet, does suggest he's one really tough fighter, and he's going to take some putting away this evening. That's believing that Harding can do it, and he mustn't underestimate the French heavyweight champion. He has Chenet stumbling backwards at the beginning of the third round. Once again, the third round taking on pretty much the same look as the opening couple, with Harding backing his men up all the time. Chaney counter-attacking whenever the chance arises, but doing most of his fighting with his back against the ropes. Frenchman caught by a right from Harding at the end of the third round. And the jab is finding a way through, and then a very good left. The Frenchman continues to stand up and attempts to fight his way out of trouble, hemmed in the corner, and he'll be very happy to hear the bell at the end of the third round. Well, it certainly is an action-packed fight, Mark.
Very, very good. Jess caught Chaney with a beautiful, I think it was a right uppercut, which stunned him momentarily. And had the bell hadn't rung, it would have definitely been Jess's, because he was looking for an exit, definitely. The pattern's still very much the same. I just wish Jess would keep up his hands. Chaney having a lot of success with that straight right of his, which is a sucker punch really for a southpaw.
Into the fourth round here, scheduled for 8. And the Frenchman's face looking particularly marked. The Frenchman getting a warning there for an open glove. And it's immediately Harding who is on the attack, taking it to the Frenchman. The right getting across the top of the Frenchman's guard. Jess Harding continues to look for the big shot to prevent this from going the full 8 rounds. And Chaney's face is really beginning to show that he's being caught once or twice. Well, actually, that's an understatement. He's been caught a dozen times by Jess Harding. But it mustn't be forgotten that Harding has walked into 1 or 2 good shots from the Frenchman himself, and he's always going to have to be aware of the fact that the Frenchman could land a lucky punch. The crowd urging Harding to start jabbing, to get to work behind the jab. Be patient, set up the big left that could end it all. again, the wild right from the Frenchman. This time going over the top of Harding. As Harding gets right behind that jab and throws the left. Well, as the fight develops, Mark, it does seem that Jess Harding is beginning to take the initiative.
That's right, he's definitely taking the initiative, but this guy is still very, very much dangerous with that straight right of his. And the thing is, it's not really a proper punch. It seems to be, although Jess is getting caught by it now and again, it's a slap. And that slap, I'm surprised the referee hasn't actually warned him about it, because you can hear the slapping in it, definitely. But Jess is definitely taking the initiative there. He's also much the aggressor. But he's still very dangerous, this man, because he can punch.
If we just look at the Frenchman's face here now, I mean, we can see that he's taken a great deal of punishment from Jess Harding.
I didn't actually think he'd be out. I thought he'd actually go in that round, although I said 2, but he seems to be proving me wrong again. But he's still there, and still apparently very, very strong with that straight right of his.
He continues to throw that straight right from all over the place. He doesn't land many, but it's very dangerous.
Very, very dangerous. He caught Jess once, which was, although Jess seems to take a good shot.
Thanks again, Mark. So the Frenchman's second's a little slow to get out of his corner. But the action underway. As we said earlier, Jess Harding currently awaiting the chance to fight for the British title. And, he's to take on the winner of the Gary Mason Curry fight for the vacant title. As he has the Frenchman once again hunched up in his own corner. As ever, he fights back, Chanay. Right. Finding a way through with the left. The Frenchman once again finding a way through with the right. The referee going to have to get rid of some of the grease on the Frenchman's face. And I do actually believe he's got a cut in his ear. And the referee taking a close look at this. And the referee really is taking his time looking at this cut on the Frenchman's ear. Jess Harding waits in the neutral corner. Eagerly waiting to get the fight underway once again, which is exactly what he's going to do now. Well, the referee took a long time over deciding what to do about that cut on the Frenchman, but the fight for the moment continues. Right at the end of that round, Chaney walking onto the right jab from Harding. So a good last round for Chaney, and he'll be hoping to build on that. But this crowd here at the International Halls in Brentwood, they'll be getting behind Jess Harding, willing him to win this one. Harding walking on to a left from the Frenchman as he was trying to get through some good work himself on the body of Chaney. But Chaney does seem to have stepped up his pace a little bit in the previous round and in the early stages of this round, and as it develops, he's looking a little bit better. Would seem that Harding, realizing this, is attempting to step up his work rate towards the end of the round. Obviously hoping to catch the referee's eyes. Once again, the right from Chaney wildly flying over the top of Harding's head. Fighting in short bursts. And he's allowing the Frenchman to get back into the fight. Towards the end of the round, Harding tries to get the jab working. Really, he hasn't done enough good work behind the jab to please his followers here tonight, although he probably still continues to lead the Frenchman, but another good round for Chaney.
That's right, keeps catching Jess with his counter punches. See, Jess is looking for it, and this Chaney can see what he's doing because he's making his punches look very, very well. They're very, very easy to see what he's doing. When Chaney first got in the ring, I thought, after a couple of rounds, I thought he actually wanted to go home, but this man has come to win. And the thing is, he believes in himself now, you know, and that's the big difference.
That's what it does seem to what's happened as the fight develops, and I do believe we have some slow motion of Chaney just showing how he's beginning to get the edge in this fight. Jess Harding does seem to possibly be tiring a little bit. I mean, his work rate has dropped, as has the Frenchman's, though.
That's right, I can't argue with that, yeah, that's true. But he's still there, you know, it seems to me as like he's got to dig in deep now, dig in deep.
Feel it.
Get it over. He's still making about 3 rounds in front.
So really, you just got to make sure he stays on his feet in this round, and you feel that he'll take the fight.
I just like to see him use his jab much, much more, because I'm not used to seeing him brawling like this, because the man can box, given a chance, but he's allowing Chaney to draw him into a fight.
Well, let's hope he comes through the 8th. Thanks very much, Mark. So, Jess Harding beginning this round, working behind the jab, as everyone here hopes he would. He can just continue to do some good work behind that, keep the Frenchman at bay. And, looks as if he would take this fight this evening. And the British title fight is even closer then. Still the Frenchman looks to land the big shot that could turn it for him. Caught Harding there on the top of the head with a left. Everybody around me here in the International Hall urging Jess Harding to work behind that jab, and really as yet he hasn't taken a great deal of notice of them. He's been dragged into a brawl here tonight. But there we see a good example of the success he can have if he does work behind the jab. He's only got to do that for about a minute and a half now. He really does look a different class when he starts to box, forgets about the street fight here, and he looks a lot more impressive. Good round so far for Jess Harding. Set up the left on that occasion behind a series of jabs. Just to avoid that right from Chanay. He put in a couple of good rounds in the 6th and 7th. So Harding getting himself wide open there to the left. It lacked any power. So we're coming towards the end of the bout, and barring a disaster for Jess Harding, it looks as if he's going to take this one. Do you think he'll go back home this evening and think about how he approached this fight? In future, if he wanted to dictate the style of the contest, and would be hoping to do a damn sight more better work behind that right jab. Wouldn't you think so, Mark?
A good fight, but not. It was a good fight for Chanay, because I don't actually think he came in to last for so long. But for Jess, it wasn't that good. That's not the Jess I know. When this man boxes, he would be untouchable by the Chanay. That's not the man I know.
He looked a completely different boxer when he was doing work behind his jab, even though it was just occasionally.
See, he was looking for the big one, and that doesn't work with Jess. Jess is a combination puncher, and when he uses a combination with that straight left, he was having a lot of success. But then again, he caught him with the jab. Then he seemed to have this idea. All he wants to do is just knock Chanay out.
Do you feel that he could put this fight behind him this evening, and when he takes on the winner of the Curry-Mason fight, he could go all the way to the British title?
That's right. He's got a lot of work to do. He's got a lot of work to do for that fight, definitely. But I thought he did well. Got a very. I didn't actually think Jess has got such a good chin, a very good chin. But then again, the idea is not about the idea of boxing is not about taking punches. Chanay, very good for him. Very good.
Great, thanks very much, Mark. A fine victory for Jess Harding against a tough French opponent in Jean Chanay. And I just like...
From Potter's Bar, real name Jeremy, but Jess sounds a bit butcher, against John Westgarth, the veteran from Newcastle. 30 against Chris Jacobs, but was persuaded to change his mind. He's fought for the British title before, in fact, in this very ring. He's fought in this very ring for the British heavyweight title. In fact, almost a year ago to the day, against Gary Mason, who stopped him in 2 rounds. And with the British heavyweight scene as it is at the moment, I guess another title fight for Jess Harding might not be out of the question.
15 stone, 13 pounds. Your referee for this contest is Tony Walker, and your timekeeper, Lou Howard.
He certainly looks in good shape.
You've taken the words right out of my mouth, Michael. I was going to say, compared to the last fight we saw him down in Cardiff, he looks about half a stone lighter and a lot fitter, leaner, tauter. Let's hope he hasn't sweated off some strength either. But if the Chris Jacobs defeat was the low point in his career, he certainly looks as though he means business tonight.
Well, this is certainly a breaking point for Jeff. He can't afford to lose out on this fight tonight.
I think if Jess does lose tonight, then retirement might be the sensible option. in some time since John Westgarth has recorded a win. He's lost his last 2, and his last win, in fact, was back in March of 1989 against James Oyebola, which was not a bad win, actually.
To go out there and take a win from James Oyebola, that is an achievement.
Yeah, it's a good win. It's a good win.
James was one of the main prospects at heavyweight some time ago, so that is definitely a good performance. Bringing off a result like that.
Ball, Harding shift to right. Typical counter to the southpaw. Bang the right in, and another one. He can't ship too many of those. Westgarth gave it a big finish right from the off, Michael.
He's throwing a lot of right hands. The only way to beat a southpaw is to throw plenty of right hands. Jess has come back very well now.
Well, I tell you, it's a tough opening round for Jess Harding, but he's coping well at the moment.
I have a slight feeling he's fighting will last too long.
Well, I know that a couple of people I was talking to earlier thought it might be one of these typical plodding British heavyweight affairs, but anything but so far. It's a really good opening round, this, and you can make out a case for it going either way at the moment. Harding trying to get his jab working. Inside the last 30 of this opening round. Scheduled for 8. But, well,
beautiful right hand there by Jess.
Will it go 8? I wonder.
That's what he's got to do. He's got to go in there and
good body shots.
He's got to stay busy. Get inside and just keep it. He's still hanging around and waiting. Good uppercut on the inside.
Right on the bell. What a good opening round, Michael.
That's very good.
2 right-handers from Westgarth really tested Harding's chin early in that round, but well, he survived. So there we are, John Westgarth will be 31 this year, 26 fights, sort of 50-50-ish sort of record. And as I said, he hasn't won for a wee time since March '89, but as Michael's pointed out, that win against James Oyebola in 5 rounds, really no mean achievement. But remember that Jess Harding does hold a stoppage win over him.
John has certainly been around a long time, a very long time. One of those old pros that always come back.
Yeah, the backbone of the game, as indeed Jess Harding aims to be. There you go, 19 fights, 13 victories. And one of those defeats at the hands of Gary Mason, who took him out in 2. So
that's not a disgrace. Gary's a very, very good.
I think maybe one thing that was lacking from Jess Harding's armoury was a big dollop of self-belief, because he's not a bad little fighter at all. And I use the word little advisedly for a bloke weighing 15 stone plus. He's got courage, he's got a dig, and he's quite a little stylist as well, as we've seen in those 2 crisp southpaw jabs then. Westgarth really is trying to lay on the heavy artillery at the moment.
I think what's a major factor in preparation for a fight is your mind. If your mind's right, everything else will follow. And I think Jed is in the right frame of mind tonight.
Well, believe me,
he desperately wants to win tonight, and he has to win.
This is a different fighter from the fighter who lost to Chris Jacobs on that rather cold, rainy night down in at the Splot Leisure Centre in Cardiff earlier this year.
It's a very competitive round by both men. got to double up on those right hands, Jess. He's just throwing too many single shots. He's got to double up in combinations. Keep John thinking. Keep on his back feet. That's it. Back him up on his back foot, and that's the way to do it.
Good round this for Harding. Good graze on Westgarth's right cheek. Nothing to worry about, just a little nick. Harding holding his gloves nice and high.
Beautiful.
Oh, good left.
We're going to get him 5 now. Just has to stay on top of him all the way through. Don't give him any room to breathe.
Harding really is establishing who's the governor in this fight. Make no mistake, it has been far from one-sided because Westgarth has caught him with a couple of really good right-handers, but there's a new self-belief about Jess Harding in this fight, Michael.
They both want to win very desperately. They're really going out there and making a good fight of it all. Jazz has really gone, as I said before the fight, he looks in very good shape. And I'm sure his mind's right for this fight as well. He's got a lot to lose out tonight. If he loses, that's it. So he's going to go out there and make the best of it tonight.
It's quite something, really, when you think about it, isn't it? That if you lose, your boxing career's over. Because, all right, there's no law that says he would have to retire, but it's hard to see where he could go. Coming back off a defeat, a few months layoff, and then another defeat.
Well, if he loses tonight, I'm not saying that, you know, it's the end of the road for him, but it will take him a long, long slog back on top.
Well, that was the punch of the fight so far. Beautiful left hook. And that really made John Westgarth hang on for dear life in the middle of that round. Third round, scheduled for 8. Harding in the driving seat at the moment. But Westgarth has got a good right hand on him.
They're both very, very equally matched, aren't they?
It's a well-matched fight. It's a good scrap, as good as the first one, and two very evenly matched boys. Don't hold and hit. Bad work from Harding inside. Wild swing from Westgarth. Nearly swings himself off balance. Good combination from the Newcastle boy. Got caught with the left again. And in trouble now. Looking very rocky.
They're certainly in for a good fight tonight. Just have to bring up his hands a little bit more. Don't want to get careless now.
Oh, that was
got him in trouble.
Good left hand coming off the ropes. And Westgarth is in a little bit of trouble now.
That's what he's got to do, is keep his hands up. Don't get careless. Keep his composure, keep tight. Defense has to be certainly tight. Work his way in.
The last time they met, a couple of years ago, it lasted 5. I can't see this perhaps lasting 5 because Westgarth is really more last gasp than Westgarth at the moment.
This is where Jess should take advantage now. He's got him in trouble now. He's fading. He should stay on top of him all the way through. He's breathing very heavy now, Westgarth. I think Jess has also switched down to the body. That'll do the world of good.
You get the feeling that if Harding landed one of those lefts right on the button, Westgarth might go down. The Newcastle man's rights don't seem to be worrying Harding too much anymore. Shipped a couple in the first round. But it's the left of Harding that's doing the damage.
They're throwing techniques out the window now.
Harding's round. Oh, I don't doubt that Charlie Magrick and Darky Smith will be well pleased with Jess Harding's comeback so far. He's done all the right things. All he's got to do now is win. There's the left going in. And another. That was on the gloves. Good jab. That was the one that really started the trouble for Westgarth in that round. That little short left uppercut. That was a good shot. Well, I don't know what he's been learning in the gym, Mike, but whatever he's learned has obviously been for the power of good.
That's right. If I was in Jess's corner now, I'll be saying to him now to stay with Westgarth all the way through now and work those body shots, sap his energy.
On the other hand, what's the advice that Jimmy Tibbs might be giving to Westgarth?
I'll stay away from him. He's got very long arms. If I was Westgarth, I would stay at distance and try and pick him off. Try not to get involved.
Round 4, scheduled 8. Westgarth from Newcastle in the black and white stripes, and Jess Harding from Potter's Bar, just a short trip along the M25 from here in the yellow. Nice idea from Westgarth. Uppercut speared through Harding's guard, didn't quite come off though. I think he's eating those lefts. And just for a change, a right. I guess we're going to get to a stage before too long, Mike, when fitness and conditioning are going to tell, because the pace of this fight is really fierce.
Yes, it's beginning to tell now. They're both getting in there and landing in with their heads now. I think it's getting a bit messy at times now. I think fatigue could be creeping up at this stage.
Well,
there you go.
The right hand from Westgarth, out goes Harding's gum shield. So the odd right still getting through.
Jess has to do something different. He's going for the head all the time. He ain't making no difference. I mean, Jess Harding can hit Westgarth in his head all night long. He's got to switch to the body. I really do think it would make a lot of difference.
Well, to Westgarth's credit, he's trying to vary it a little bit. But so far Harding's been just a little bit too fit, a little bit too fast, a little bit too strong for him.
I think he should step up his game plan as well. Step up the pace a little bit more.
Inside the last minute of this fourth round. Much better round this for Westgarth.
Very good left hook.
Who did you give that round to, Michael?
I would say it was very even.
I agree.
I would say it's a draw.
Yeah, I've scored it 10-10. But I've nevertheless got Jess Harding a couple of rounds in front. And, well, as Michael said during that round, Jess Harding here has just got to keep the pressure on. I think if the pressure dropped, and he allowed Westgarth back in the fight, he might have been in a little bit of trouble. This is one of the punches that Westgarth did get through. There's a big right hand coming up. Bang! Look at that. Out goes Harding's gum shield. And that is, of course, the answer to a southpaw.
If I was in Westgarth's corner, I'll be telling him to go out, stay in range and throw plenty of right hands. It always works against a southpaw.
Round 5. Well, this is the round that Jess Harding took John Westgarth out in the last time they met, just down the road from here in Basildon a couple of years back.
Come on, John.
Turned into a very grueling fight.
Well, it certainly is, and I guess maybe the Harding camp must be a little bit disappointed because the man started so well and had Westgarth in trouble in the opening couple of rounds, but he just hasn't been able to apply that final turn of the screw and put his man away. And while Westgarth is still upright, he's still dangerous. Oh. It was a good shot, and so was that again. Well, that really was an extraordinary exchange. Westgarth landing a short right that really shook Harding, but the Potter's Bar fighter coming back with a couple of really stiff lefts that I thought might have Westgarth in trouble for a moment. Now, Westgarth has his back to me. I can't see what the problem is. Yes, I can. That's a nasty cut on his left eyebrow. That's a bad cut.
Westgarth had a very nasty cut. Also, Jad had a very bad swelling on his right side of his eye.
Now that's happening right above us. And that's it. Oh, what a shame. What a shame. Well, as in their previous meeting, Harding wins in 5, but what a shame it had to end that way, because it was boiling up quite nicely, that. But well, I guess that's boxing, Mike.
Well, that was unfortunate for Westgarth. Jess Harding had a very bad swelling on his eye as well, so I'm sure Jess is very happy with the verdict.
That's nice to see the two fighters in the ring, arms around each other, while Alan Hughes does the ring announcements. Well received, and I have to say, an impressive performance by Jess after that showing against Chris Jacobs. Let's see if we can figure out how this cut was caught there. Now, was that a clash of heads? The head's all right there, the eye's all right there. Oh, there it is.
Yes,
that's what caused it. That's what caused it. Entirely accidental, but well, that's part and parcel of the fight game. A good little scrap, and we've got another good little scrap coming up for you right after the break. Phil Soundy, a local boy, bringing an unbeaten record, 5 fights and 5 wins to his fight with the Welsh boy Steve Yorath. Be right back for that.
As he comes from Severn, he's the local boy. So from Gilmo on the way to the ring.
poids long auquel nous allons assister maintenant, donc cette demi-finale du championnat de France 1997 que vous attendez. Donc dans un instant, il va venir devant nous.
Here he comes. There's Frankie. And Heinrich beat Guillemot at the start of 1994 on points. There you are, 6 wins, 5 losses for Guillemot. Actually, I'll contest that. I've actually got him with 11 wins and 5 defeats, so I don't quite know what's happened to our statistics this evening. Guillemot, on my reckoning, has got 11 wins and 5 losses in 16 outings, and his opponent, Joe Heinrich, has won 12, lost 5, and drawn 3.
Joel Heinrich.
So not much between them, but Heinrich, I suppose, was having beaten Guillemot before. There he is then. As I say, I'm afraid I have to dispute that record. Last fight for Heinrich was against the German, Willy Fischer. In December of, well, last December, obviously, and he lost that one in the first round, I'm afraid, by knockout. Was actually made a good start, but got chinned by Fischer when he found his feet.
L'animation de toutes les personnes présentes, ils vont bien se battre. Voici donc la catégorie poids lourd. Et voici ça. Le championnat de France, demi-finale, il oppose d'un côté le point bleu grand public de France, qui a été doté de manager, à celui qui représente Saverne, Joël Heinrich.
Gets a very noisy reception.
Un garçon qui joue un grand rôle par son dynamisme, avec Louis Fernandez d'ailleurs. Richard, donc tous les deux les applaudissements, grand rôle de travail. Et ce matin, bien entendu chez nos amis Guibert, père et fils automobile, le 3 et le suivant, numéro 94 500, Joël Heinrich 92 600. Et je vous rappelle aussi que Joël Heinrich, eh bien, il veut y aller en finale puisqu'il est le tenant du titre. Donc, quand possible, il aimerait bien le défendre, au moins se défendre jusqu'en finale. Mais bien sûr, ce soir, il est chez lui et c'est important. Le choc Heinrich-Guillemot en 10 reprises de 3 minutes.
So, 10 3-minute rounds. So, if Jean Donguez's rather long-winded introduction has made you forget who you're watching, let me just remind you, in the mauvey purpley trunks, we've got the local favourite, Joel Heinrich, from Saverne against Frank Guillemot in the black. This 10-round match, of course, a semi-final of the French Championship in the heavyweight division, where the winner will find himself in the final, of course. Nice right from Heinrich. He's fought in Saverne a few times. Early positive start from Heinrich. And it's easy to see why people love watching heavyweight fighters. Because when they go, don't they go? Right up the top there from Guillemot. First punch is landed, in fact, in this opening session. Very awkward right then from Guillemot landed. It's the kind of thing that hurts your wrist. Of course, the most promising heavyweight potential on the French scene at the moment must be Christophe Mendy, the Olympian. He was terribly disqualified, I thought, against the Canadian David Defi-Akbon. Well, the end of round one, and no doubt about who's taken that one. Heinrich, the winner of the first session. A couple of names worth mentioning on the Guillemot record. He fought Don Diego Poda, the Dutchman, and actually took Poda 7 rounds. That was last year in Den Bosch before he was stopped. So obviously Guillemot is either hard to hit or takes it well when he is tagged. Also he fought his hometown of Hénin-Beaumont last time out, beat Philippe Hoivet. We saw him, of course, from Chenov. A couple of names worth mentioning on the Heinrich record. He's got a points win over the former European champion, Yves Monsieur. Also fought that Russian Yuri Yelistratov, who was with Frank Maloney in fact in 95, and lost on points to Yelistratov. A couple of names there on both records as we start round 2. Off just a bit quicker than Guillemot. Well, there's something happened here to the ear. Yes, there's blood on the right ear of Guillemot. I don't quite know how that's happened. Clash of heads possibly. Now, the last thing you want to see is blood coming from within the ear. It looks like it's a cut on the edge. Very unusual place, of course, to pick up a cut. But it's at least forced a bit of anxiety out of these two. Well, that's interesting now, because Heinrich has picked up a swelling that will only get worse underneath the right eye. Well, takes a right then from Guillemot. And they're both a bit careless with the head, aren't they? Well, that's not too bad from Guillemot. And some anxious voices in this crowd. What a good right then for Guillemot. Takes a couple back though. And Heinrich now lets go with two-fisted barrage of punches. Guillemot just shakes his head. Guillemot could be worth a share of this second round. Don't just remember the finish. Remember what happened over the first couple of minutes. Good right. So, a very spirited second round there. So here we are then, back in Severn as Mad Max and Fred. As I say, they're the boxing trainers of Martina Hingis. Bit of replay here then from round two. Crazy session. Both men picking up damage. Guillemot cut on the right ear. And Heinrich, the local man, lumpy under the right eye. Round three then, and just to remind you, Frank Guillemot in the black against the local man, Joel Heinrich. And Guillemot, I think, took a share of the second session. Heinrich took the first. This is the second meeting between these two. And Guillemot looking for revenge for previous points lost. Too much clean punching done, I'm afraid, by Guillemot. He's technically rather inept on occasion. Well, that time we got through with a couple of scruffy rights. And this one could be in a phone box now, couldn't it? And Guillemot trying, if only his talent could match his will. We've got a real barnstorming punch up now between these two. Of course, what people love about heavyweights when they get involved in a tear-up. Interesting. An apology in mid-flight there from Guillemot for a little clash of heads. And he's actually got Heinrich rattled slightly, I think, from his efforts. Although Heinrich now coming back. floor. That's interesting, a chopping right hand then in round 3, and Heinrich taking the 8 count. It's a bit slow. It's a lot slow. Well, the bell has gone to end the round. Goodness me, talk about a long count. Well, I'm going to give the round. It would have been level apart from the... No, let's give it 10-8, shall we? Let's give it 10-8 to Guillemot. It might just have won it with that very spirited start. And got a knockdown as well. So there's Guillemot then. And I wonder who taught him to box, or not. But he's just proved, as I say, at the start of this 3rd round, that sometimes sheer will, rather than technical adeptness, and that's that chopping right hand, and 1 to the rib cage. Fighters don't deliberately do that, by the way. They're just, the punch is on its way. From the reverse angle as we come out now for round 4. And courtesy of round 3, I think that puts Guillemot 1 point in front now. Oh, goodness me, catching Heinrich with a good right that time. Spray flying from his head. Oh, and again, look at that, he's got him over. Right hand from Guillemot. Good hard punch that time. Oh, there's no mandatory 8 count by the referee. I'm very surprised. There should have been. That seems to be the law on the continent. No mandatory 8. So, a bad start to round 4 for Joel Heinrich, the local hero. Can he regroup? Can he get back into this? Can he put Guillemot off sufficiently? Can he hurt him? Can he catch him?
C'est ça, c'est ça. Voilà,
well, Guillemot really should be right hand happy here. Takes it, tags him again. And Guillemot really is getting through the right hand, and he's in big trouble now. He'll get the mandatory 8 count now, I've got a feeling. Yes, look at that. Well. I think this is what we call a referee of convenience. That's the 2nd time he's taken a count here in the 4th round. So, we've got a Heinrich-friendly referee, but we've got a fired up, almost on a kamikaze mission here. Guillemot. Heinrich trying to come back, and he takes another right. Time to be under a bit of pressure. Nothing major though coming from Heinrich, I'm afraid. But any Heinrich supporters out there? So can Guillemot weather this small storm, come back and take charge? It will be a major upset for Heinrich and supporters if he does. It's been a hell of a round for him. 10-7 so far. Not much left now, surely. There you are, 10 seconds. Well, Heinrich's actually come back very well in this last minute or so. I'm going to call it 10-8, not 10-7. There's the bell. 10-8 then for Guillemot, surely. 2 knockdowns.
Formidable combat de poids lourd ici ce soir à Saverne.
What a session that was. Well, I'm just looking at my score. I've got it 39 to 36 now in favour of Guillemot. know, even if you were to be less generous to Gilmo regarding the knockdowns, there's no way that Heinrich is in front. What can they tell him? Here we go, touch of replay here. Gilmo, bang, right hand happy. And the referee was very kind to Heinrich in the second time when he took a Stanley count. In fact, this is it, when really Heinrich turned his back, walked away, didn't want to know. And the referee, well, any other referee might have stopped it at that point. Who knows? I'm just thinking, what if this man could fight? Once again, touch of replay. And this is where those rights almost wrecked. Heinrich, once again, under severe pressure. Round 5. It's a bad night for Joel Heinrich. It could be a good night for Frank Gilmo. Trying to run it himself now, get back in this. He's got some work to do. And really all Gilmo needs to concentrate on is landing the right hand. Forget anything else. That's what's going to do it for him. Nice work from Heinrich. And of course, Joel Heinrich, fully aware of the danger Gilmo presents with the right hand. And I think he lacks the confidence to take it. Well, he should do. Again from Heinrich. Oh, and a nice little right then thrown awkwardly by Gilmo. Oh, that's interesting. And once again Heinrich counters nicely. Once again to get lucky with the right. Not a bad round this for Heinrich. In fact, a very good round considering. So 2 points to get now after Heinrich takes round 5. 5 gone, 5 to go. What would you tell him? Stay out the way of the right, I suppose. Keep your left hand up nice and high. is the halfway point then, round 6. 5 gone, 5 to go. And still, Joel Heinrich in the blue has got some catching up to do. I've got him 2 points adrift. Plenty of time. And Frank Gilmour may well have blown himself out. Oh, takes a right hand again, Heinrich there. He needs to be so careful. That's the only thing that Gilmour wants to do is land the right. And poor old Heinrich, he can't stop him. And of course, Gilmour probably doesn't have a great deal of energy left himself. Going to lose tape now on that left glove of Gilmour. That will stop the action in a moment. And Heinrich can't seem to hurt Gilmour. When he gets the chance, Heinrich working well. Again, good shots then. But Gilmour taking them all very manfully. Doesn't seem at all bothered by them, in fact. But for how long? Has Heinrich chipped away at his resistance sufficiently? The referee's poised to stand in. Well, he's getting a standing count. So, standing count then against Gilmour. Action resumes. It's been a good round for Heinrich. And Gilmour needs to get off those ropes and stop taking these punches. Referee could step in and stop this one in favour of the local. And at times it looks like he could. Good right. Bit of blood now around the nose and mouth of Heinrich. Surprisingly nothing, no damage for Gilmour. Last 10 seconds of round 6. What a round this has been. And once again the comeback for Heinrich continues in good style. Well, it continues anyway. So that's a 10-8 round for Joel Heinrich.
Une récompense pour les organisateurs, cette formidable demi-finale.
What a semi-final this has been for the French Championship. And I've got them dead level now at 56 points each with 6 rounds gone. Here we go, touch of replay here from this crazy round. And really, I think Gilmour's the kind of guy who needs to cut his hair very short because it flies when he takes a shot. And it looks a lot worse than it is, possibly. Round 7. And it's been an absolute humdinger. I think it's been completely devoid of any kind of semblance of class, but it's had all the excitement you could want. And Joel Heinrich in the blue looking to continue that march. Now he's set over the last couple of rounds to level things up at 56 points apiece on my card. Of heads then. And it's interesting, there's one of those horrible air horns horns blowing just behind me, and the Heinrich cornerman saying, "Hey, stop it! He can't hear what I'm trying to say." Right from Guillemot, not enough though. Lost the spark from his repertoire now. Once again, catching Joel Heinrich high on the head that time. I think you'll agree it's not been very pretty, but there's been so much endeavour. Good right again from Guillemot, but he's not out of this one yet. Absolutely exhausted. Once again, Joel Heinrich forces it back onto the ropes, and well, Guillemot can ill afford this. Again, Guillemot there threatened to land the right. He just clipped the chin. Once again, lovely work from Heinrich. And I haven't got a clue. Oh, once again, look at that. Guillemot cracks it with the right hand. Well, I'll leave what I was going to say until the break. A few seconds to go in this seventh. Been a good round for Joel Heinrich. Well, I was about to say, I don't know who's in the other semi-final, of course, of this French Heavyweight Championship. But whoever it is will have a pretty good chance, I think, of winning. Principally because I'm afraid I don't rate this guy. He's very exciting for this local crowd. But skillful, he ain't. Once again, thunderous punches there, if you like. Whew, 3 rounds to go then. Round 8 coming up, and I'm surprised he's still there, old Franck Guillemot. Let's remind you, Guillemot in the black, looking for revenge for previous points lost against Joel Heinrich, the local man from Saverne. That's where we are tonight. And Heinrich has just got himself back in front, I think. Whoops, looks like Guillemot knows it as well, wants to reverse it. Once again, a little clash of heads there, and they apologise. And the irony is that as soon as they apologise, Guillemot crunks in with the right hand. And again, once again, a standing count here, and a lot of referees would once again have waved Heinrich off now. He would not be in this fight at this point. According to a lot of men, this referee must be related. If that happens again, it's got to be over, surely. So Guillemot then on the verge, and once again the heads clash together. Guillemot cross about that, and that might just be the undoing of Heinrich now. Another standing count here by the referee, and I do hate standing counts. I hate them more than most things I can mention. So can Guillemot finish it? It might be beyond Heinrich. And oh, it's got a body punch now. He didn't like that. That's the third count he's taken here in the 8th round. Box on, says the referee. Guillemot can't wait to get at him. One more and it'll all be over, surely. surely it'll all be over. Guillemot on the verge here of getting himself a place in the final of the French Championship. Can you believe that? Well, Joel Heinrich tries to come back again. Less than a minute to go in the 8th round. And this is a 10-7 round, I'll tell you that much. 3 knockdown, or 3 counts. And I'm almost willing Frank to win it. I don't want to say too much. I've got the Heinrich corner right down by my right-hand side. And once again, it's Guillemot on top here. Can he do it? Can he do it? And Heinrich in terrible trouble again. Can he raise his game? And he's tottering all over the place here. And Guillemot wondering what's keeping him upright. And it's all a shot, it's all over! So we have a winner. Goodness me, what did it take for this referee? I can't believe it. So there's the loser. Well, Guillemot gets revenge and wins in the 8th round. Well, there was 3 standing counts there. 1 body shot put him over. But the local man's been beaten. Frank Guillemot is the winner. He's going to be in the final of the French Heavyweight Championship. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Here, a bit of finish now of that one. Heinrich battered to a standstill. And that's the body punch, the left hand to the body that put him over. Don't forget, he'd taken 2 standing counts prior to that. And right hands like that did the damage. And he didn't like it, did he? Take that, says Guillemot. Whew. That was a hell of a scrap. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Completely devoid of any class. But heart-stopping, really, at times. So there he is then, poor old Joel Heinrich, and there's the winner. He looks very sad for some odd reason. And there's a few bemused faces around me here. The Heinrich fans can't believe what's hit them. You got beat by Guillemot? Goodness me. Anyway, full marks to Guillemot. As I said before, it's really, it was a lesson in will overcoming skill. Yes, will beats skill. I'm not trying to say that Heinrich, of course, is the most skillful fighter on this earth.
À la 8e reprise, face aux caméras, Frank Guillemot.
So Guillemot then declared the winner in 8 rounds. Yes, a triumph of will over skill. And poor old Heinrich, he can't believe it, can he? He had that one won, then he lost it. He had it won again, and then he lost. Unbelievable. Cracking fight. Oh, that's got to go on again at some point, probably here as well. We're going to take a short break. Stay with us.
Soit avec ses supporters, mais que Guillemot qui a gagné ici, et Heinrich l'a reconnu, eh bien, soit applaudi comme il le mérite, mais la boxe...
Yes, as I say, we're going to take a short break in a moment, but just to remind you, Frank Guillemot has won in 8 rounds against Joel Heinrich.